all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
NBA All-Star Weekend is here, and it starts tonight with the Rising Stars game. As Spurs rookie Stephon Castle will be in action. It starts at 8 o'clock, and you can catch it here on San Antonio Sports Star. In fact, you can catch all of All-Star Weekend here. Tomorrow night, we got the skills competition with Wemby and CP3, the dunk contest with Steph Castle, and the three-point contest that starts at 7. And then Sunday, the actual All-Star game is Wemby and the rest of them getting in action starting at 6.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me. However you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be listening online at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching on YouTube, that's right, all of our shows stream live via YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, let you know when we go live. You can comment along with this show and all the shows, or you can just be a part of it by calling in 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776. I appreciate all y'all for riding along with me tonight. I know it is Valentine's Day, so there is a lot going on this evening as it pertains to making sure you stay yourself out of the doghouse this weekend as it pertains. And hopefully everything culminates in a great night for all of y'all tonight. So happy Valentine's Day to all y'all out there, and get ready because we are at All-Star Weekend, which means we have this tonight with Steph Castle and the Rising Stars Challenge, tomorrow and with the dunk contest, and of course the skills competition with CP3 and Wemby, and then the three-point competition, and then Sunday we'll have the actual All-Star game. It's a holiday on Monday, and then we won't see sports again really outside of college hoops until Thursday. So unless some major news breaks in other sports like a trade in baseball or NFL, we're getting to that little dry period right here before the NFL scouting combine takes place. So enjoy your time, maybe decompress. I've got a ton of stuff that I want to catch up on. I know one of the things that I want to catch up on is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the new Disney Plus series. There's Daredevil coming out here in a couple of weeks. That's going to be awesome. I'm super stoked about that show coming out back. Daredevil Born Again, continuing on that saga. Vincent D'Onofrio was amazing playing Wilson Fisk, and Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. I mean, it was just a really, really good cast, really good stories, and very excited to get back into that and start kind of watching real TV again for the first time in a while. But that's where we're at in the sports calendar. It is All-Star Weekend, and we do have a new All-Star format, and we're all kind of gonna get to see what it's like together all at once. And earlier this morning, Rob and AJ on the Morning Huddle were talking about the NBA and where we're at heading into the All-Star break.
How much do you think the Jimmy Butler thing is going to make a real difference?
I can tell you this. Draymond and Steph are trying. I mean, they're doing all they can. They're trying to give him some space. What did Draymond call him? I mean, Draymond is loving up to him.
He called him a franchise changer.
So I think if it does fail, and I do think it probably will, it won't be Draymond and Steph's fault.
The Warriors coach Steve Kerr has said that Jimmy Butler's the finisher that they've so desperately needed. You can't always count on Steph to, hit 15 threes. It just doesn't, especially now, it doesn't work anymore.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I do think that that's a nice thing to have, but it's also something the Warriors, the one time that they kind of had it was when Andrew Wiggins had his great year, or I guess when they had KD, they had kind of a finisher. But
yeah, but I mean, we also know that Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that ever walked the planet. They got a finisher, but what I'm getting to is, yeah, he does some things that other guys there don't, but they don't. I mean, they're making space for him, and that to me tells me that at least there is a college try to get all of these egos to work. The talent should work. It's the egos behind the talent that I think will be at the end of the day the failure. And it'll be Butler upset, or
I think by the time that happens, the Warriors will be done.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
yeah. I don't see imminent success. It's a bunch of old dudes, but I do think that they're going to win more games than they lose, probably by a 2-1 margin. But they just don't have enough ammunition to get out of what is becoming a very strange West. There's a lot of different characters here that could take you out, where when we started the season, I felt like there were 3 teams. Now there's 5, and there's different ways to lose now.
Yeah.
So I just don't think it's imminent, but I appreciate the fact that these 3 dudes and their coach realize we're on a life mode here. We're going to have to figure this out, because eventually we're going to run out of time.
Yeah. And I listen, I like that he seems to have this competitive drive that I don't know if they were missing, but like Jimmy Butler, he's like, man, we should be 4-0. He was still complaining about the game that they lost to Dallas. And this is after last night's win. He's still complaining about the night before losing that game.
And that's the kind of thing that wears on people with Butler and Draymond too. So eventually they're going to hit a rough patch, and we'll see how these guys all get along when they're actually under fire. Right now it's fun.
It's hard to imagine. I mean, it's hard to imagine how far they can get with this. I think this makes them, I think they'll comfortably make the playoffs now.
They're a threat.
But at the end of the day, like, they're nowhere near Oklahoma City. And that's the goal, obviously. I mean, if the goal is to be the second best team in the West, the Warriors have as good a chance as a lot of these teams now. I just think that the gap between Oklahoma City and the second best team is so great right now that it's like, I'm not sure how much this moves the needle.
And as this shakes out, stars write plots, and there's going to be a lot of stars in the playoffs, old stars, but there's going to be a lot of guys who are capable of doing unique things that it could get weird. And when you start getting these weird circumstances, much like March Madness, you get an early upset and then everything just gets strange, and you end up with an interesting matchup in the finals, and it might not be what you expected. When you were looking at stars like Luka and LeBron, which is a weird thing anyway, going against stars like Steph and Jimmy Butler and Draymond, that's going to be a compelling, if not, I don't know how to describe what kind of series we could be headed toward.
The Western Conference playoffs are going to be really fun.
It's going to be nuts. It really will be. I think it's going to be compelling. I don't think it's going to be extraordinary.
I think it's going to be I think every matchup will be compelling until the end.
Yeah, that's my fear.
When the inevitable happens.
Yeah, Cleveland.
But like the idea of the Rockets and the Lakers, or the Nuggets and the Lakers, that's certainly appealing.
Jimmy gave him a puncher's chance. There's a possibility there. I just don't think it's going to work out. And the more likely scenario for me is not only does it not work out, we've got a full-on, Twitter war, a full-on social media issue between Jimmy Butler and the Draymond boys. It just feels like that's 3 alpha dogs, or at least 2 alphas, but sitting in the room all the time.
It does feel like suddenly Draymond is a little bit reinvigorated, which is probably, I don't know how motivated he's been the last year or two, but he certainly looks like he's into it again.
Yeah, what I saw yesterday, I was like, you know what? They're making space. They're making room for him to go beat Jimmy Butler. And that, if you're Steve Kerr, that right now, that's all you can ask.
The problem is, though, I really think at this point, Steph's biggest annoyance is that Draymond is a hothead and does dumb things and gets technicals that cost him games. Like you see it, like he'll get a technical and then he'll come up and try to explain it to Steph, and you see Steph like his mouthpiece falls out of his mouth and he's just like kind of rolling his eyes while Draymond talks to him. I worry that you're going to get some of that from Jimmy too. And then at some point, Steph is going to be like, how did I get here?
Right.
How did I end up on the team with these kind of players that are like the biggest pains in the ass to work with, but they're also the kind of players you need if you're going to do something. So,
and they're doing it the right way. I mean, they're acting as if that we can put aside all this stuff, but there's always a rough patch.
Yeah,
always. They're going to hit a losing streak. Somebody's take a dumb shot. Kerr's going to call somebody out in practice or something strange, and we'll see how they react then.
I don't know. I think that they're probably, as I look at the standings now, it feels like they've got an up arrow where Sacramento, Dallas have down arrows, and
Sacramento could go two ways. I don't know about this team. That they're as talented as they were even before they made the deal. But I'm not sure they have enough time, to kind of figure things out.
And then some of the teams at the top are going directions I didn't expect. I mean, obviously pre-Luka, I didn't think the Lakers were going to have a big up arrow. They've got one now. The Denver Nuggets, who were kind of asleep at the wheel for the early part of the season, they've won 8 games in a row now, kind of quietly. And, they've got probably the best player in the world on their team.
And Michael Porter is finally healthy. Aaron Gordon is doing the things he's supposed to. We're just waiting on Jamal. And once that guy all rounds into form, they're still the Nuggets.
And then teams like the Rockets are kind of falling off the map.
Well, they have, but I still think they're they might be the scariest low seed out there, man. I wouldn't want to play them for 4 games.
Yeah.
Because they're going to wear you out. I mean, you might.
Well, they're headed toward being a low seed. Remember, they were the 2 seed 2 weeks ago.
Right. 6 straight losses. And now they picked up another one last night with 3 wins in the middle. It's their arrow is equal. It's sideways.
And then I think about the Eastern Conference playoffs, and I don't even know if there's a matchup that intrigues me. Like the Eastern Conference is so boring.
Until we get Boston,
give me Cavs, Celtics. That's all. Yeah, that's all I care about. Everybody else they're in the way. Even the Knicks. I know people think the Knicks are good. The Knicks aren't that good.
This feels very much like the NBA back in the 90s, where one conference, normally the East, Chicago skates through, or LA skates through and just waits for the other conference to just beat themselves to death.
Yeah.
And it appears that Cleveland and Boston are imminent to play each other in the Eastern Conference Finals. 1-2. And
I guess if Giannis shows up healthy in the playoffs, they've got a puncher's chance.
Yeah, but are you worried? Are you really worried that Milwaukee could beat either one of these teams 4 times?
I mean,
right now, I'm not.
Milwaukee's 2 years removed from a title.
I agree, but they're capable of.
I'm with you. I have a hard time picturing that.
Just don't see how it could happen 4
series.
times. It could go to a final game, but I just don't think it'll go past that.
I agree. But also, it's basically the almost all of the Eastern Conference playoff spots are decided already. There's a couple teams that it seems like they're still trying to lose their way out of it. Namely the Bulls, who are in the 10 spot, but it's like they're trying their best to get out of that. But somehow you got to catch Philadelphia, you got to catch Brooklyn, you got to catch Toronto, who are all actively trying to lose too. The Bulls are like, dude, we're gonna be in the freaking play-in. We're not even trying. Like
they keep losing too.
That's what the Eastern Conference is, which is just terrible. Meanwhile, there's teams like Phoenix who desperately wants to win, who aren't even in the play-in mix right now in the West. It is certainly the haves and have-nots.
I mean, a little bit, yeah, but I think Orlando is going to be game, and I'm definitely not ruling out the New York Knicks or casting them aside in the East as easily as AJ seems to be. I think the East is going to be somewhat intriguing, not all the way down to where you're expecting like an 8 or 7 seed to possibly make a run like you could in the Western Conference, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this second half unfolds, how the Jimmy Butler thing plays out, how Steph Castle and the Spurs, for that matter of fact, come together, and if they can make some sort of push towards the postseason, towards the play-in, towards the actual playoffs. And, despite trading away Luka and losing AD half a game into his Mavs career, the Mavs are still fighting. and they have no bigs on their roster. So it's going to be very interesting to me. And it's also going to be very interesting to kind of see how this format plays out with the Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, Ernie teams and this little round robin format they're doing on Sunday. I'm actually intrigued by how this is going to play out as we come into the All-Star break and out of the All-Star break. Coming up, speaking of the Warriors and Steve Kerr, it's going to be very interesting to see how that team reacts, or at least how the fans react to what Steve Kerr said earlier this week. The Blitz was reacting to it, and I got to say, it almost feels tone deaf in a sense what Steve Kerr said. We'll let you hear it next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, fresh off a holiday. I hope y'all are ready. Lots to talk about.
That's right. NBA All-Star Game over the weekend, and the Four Nations face-off continues. We'll talk about that as it comes to a head. Morning Huddle, party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Our own Reverend Charles, everybody. Good morning, Reverend.
You know, John, y'all little joke a lot, Captain joke a lot all the time.
Right.
And you funny.
Thank you.
J.D. Ryan, funny, Turley, old pre-K.
Bobo's most funny.
No, I don't find Bobo funny at all. Remember that old song by Randy Newman, Show People?
Yeah.
Got no reason to live?
No,
that's Bobo right there.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You could win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog, playing the pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit RoxDiscountVitamins.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
America's Diamond has never sold lab-grown diamonds, and we warned our clients, friends, and neighbors that wholesale prices would crash to almost nothing. 2-carat GVS2 lab-grown diamonds are currently being traded at wholesale for $264, but some jewelers are still selling them online for $3,000 to $4,000. Repeat, wholesale $264, retail $3,000 to $4,000. Some retailers are selling 1-carat lab-grown diamonds for under $300, and others are giving them away for free with purchase. Lab-grown diamonds are very easy to detect with gemological equipment. Tens of millions of carats are produced in huge factories in China and India, using a tremendous amount of subsidized electricity supplied by coal-burning power plants. America's Diamond has only offered traditional, real, natural earth-grown diamonds that are rare, extremely beautiful, and have had real value for centuries. See our television program tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or right now at americasdiamond.com.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. I appreciate y'all rolling with me tonight. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. At I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. You can comment along in the chat on YouTube. Goldfinger123 says he'll be at Rockin' Brews tomorrow around 8 or so. I don't think I got anything going out tonight or tomorrow night. So might be a good place to go have a drink. Look, there is living in your bubble, and then there is tone deaf. And tone deaf seems like what the latter of the things that Steve Kerr is, because after they had a rough loss to the Mavericks, Steve Kerr goes to the podium and was asked, basically, back-to-back short rests. Are Jimmy and Steph going to play after playing so many minutes tonight? And his reaction his comments and reaction to the question were awful, because in retrospect, we saw they did play in the game. B, they won the game. But it also shines a light on the lack of apathy for the fans and what we're watching. And I thought Jason and Joe broke this down very eloquently, very well, when talking about Steve Kerr and his comments at the podium the other night.
But I'm just saying, just give them a week off and we'll just have a break. They can rest. Guys like Steve Kerr can't bitch about, playing his players too hard.
Can we talk about Steve Kerr for a minute? Let's. I know we'll get back to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr. See, they played Wednesday night in Dallas.
Yes.
In a game in which Jimmy Butler might have pooped his pants.
I think he did.
Just for funds, Google Jimmy Butler poop his pants. Butt sweat. Whatever. It's bad. So after that game, they had a back-to-back the last night, playing Thursday night in Houston.
Yes. Long trip.
Steve Kerr not happy about that.
I don't know. We'll talk to Rick after. So it's a tough back-to-back, and that's why that's what makes this loss even more frustrating. Is that we're going to get into Houston at 3:00, whatever it is, because the NBA and its infinite wisdom makes us play an 8:45 game, and they clearly don't care about rest or player health. It's just ratings and all that stuff. So I get it. So everyone's got to do it. The whole league's got to do it. So it is what it is. We got to strap it up and get ready for tomorrow.
And they did, and they won.
Yeah, but that's beside the point.
They beat Houston. So here's my thought. I'm all with you, Steve. Let's go to a 65-game schedule and then talk to your players when they don't get paid as much as they're getting paid now, if they'd be pissed off or they're okay with playing back-to-backs. Because that's what would happen. It's the most ridiculous crybaby argument I've ever heard, and I love Steve Kerr.
I big Steve Kerr fan. But, dude, when you were playing, you used to fly commercial and have back-to-backs. You just have to be at the airport for a 6 a.m. flight the next morning instead of flying private. NBA doesn't care. It's all about ratings.
Stop it.
The ratings are in the toilet, man. And Steve Kerr, you're one to blame because of the volume threes that the NBA is right now. I would imagine if they did some sort of scientific study, watching a team take 50 threes in a game is unwatchable. It's not as enjoying to watch as old school basketball. There's a reason ratings are down. And most people, when they're complaining about today's game, is watching miss after 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 miss. It's the style of game right now. And I don't know, player safety, Steve, because of all the threes, it's not like you got guys in the paint banging around like they used to, where it was a lot more physical, like it was in your day when you flew commercial.
Not near as physical as it used to be. And it's funny, more guys with these minor injuries to keep them on the bench, and they can't play back-to-backs, and they can't do – it's ridiculous. Skill play. That if I'm making $300 million, I'll play that morning and then come back and play that night, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. And I'll just look at my bank account, and I'll be happy as a lark. I mean, I just don't understand. But, Steve, I didn't expect that kind of stuff from Steve. I think he was frustrated because they lost to the lowly Dallas Mavericks.
Who've actually played pretty well since the trade.
Well, and with no Anthony Davis, by the way. And then knowing he's got to go to Houston, and Houston's been playing pretty well. So he's thinking right now, well, we're going to take 2 L's in a row, and it's not going to be good. But then his team comes out, and they play well, and they beat Houston.
If their back-to-back was, you've got the second game of a doubleheader on a Wednesday night in Dallas, and you're playing the next night in New York or L.A. or San Francisco with a long flight. Dude, you went to Houston.
Is that a 45-minute flight?
If that. I mean, and they're on a private plane.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that plane wasn't in the air long enough to get service.
And they're not going to shoot around that morning, so the guys can sleep all day.
Now, again, we've all talked about this. That 99 season, 50 games, that was great.
It was fantastic.
They're never going to cut 30 games off the schedule. 62, 66, I mean, we've seen all those. Or make the season a month longer and do away with back-to-backs.
Yep, you could do that.
I would be totally cool with that because that bridges the gap between basketball and training camp in the NFL. Because that's what we're all really looking for, right? So either make the season longer, but our offseason won't be long enough. You can't have it both ways. Sometimes you're going to have back-to-backs. And you know what, Steve? Those big salaries your players are making is because of TV and those ratings.
Well, Steve's not exactly starving to death either. So Steve's doing okay, too, with his salary. And there again, wouldn't have it if it's not for the TV rating. So that was – I don't expect that from Steve Kerr, honestly. That was about as crybaby as I've ever heard Steve Kerr. And that was pretty bad.
Yeah. It's debatable.
Well,
I mean, but I get what you're saying. That was, the NBA doesn't care about player safety.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Load management was invented for player safety, which pisses everybody off.
It does.
Except for the players. And I got to believe you as a coach get angry when you have a player say, I need a day off for load management.
Load management.
Now, I realize with the money invested in these guys, you need them at peak performance in the playoffs. And if that means a night off here and there, I get all of that. I just hate it as a consumer. Because, again, ratings do matter for the NBA and for everybody for that matter. And the ratings are down. Why is that? Players sitting out or the style of game, combination of both?
All of the above.
You're the Golden State Warriors. You have a Steph Curry. People want to watch. He's a tune-in factor. That's good for ratings. You've added a Jimmy Butler. People want to watch. Whether he poops his pants or not, people are going to tune in to see that.
Now they may want to watch more.
Do away with the white pants.
You can't do that.
I mean, you could.
I just think maybe Jimmy didn't wipe himself very good, and he was just sweating a little too much. And
he's angling for a dude wipes endorsement deal.
Well, I hope he gets it.
or he's just too tired to wipe.
Maybe.
I don't know. That was bad. That was bad. I mean, real bad.
It was bad optically, but they're spot on. Like, the reason you make the money you make, the ratings are down. The product on the court isn't as competitive night in and night out. All of these things are true, and it's all, are you playing too many games too close together? Sure, spread it out. An extra month of the season would be phenomenal to bridge that gap in between like OTAs and mini camps and right before the start of training camp. That would be phenomenal to get us all the way back into football season, and just spread out the games so there's not as many back-to-backs, or, they're not playing Memphis here and then Memphis there. Like the back-to-back of the team you play and consecutive nights has also gotten under my skin a lot lately. I don't remember that quite as much earlier in basketball growing up. Frank Mateo on our YouTube live feed said he'd love a longer season too, by a month, move it back, start it in December. That would be perfect. Football playoffs gearing up for excitement of a new NBA season as well. I'm okay. I'm okay with starting it in November. Like, do we need the October start? Like, if you're that concerned over, seriously, the length of how much time you're putting on, then why start in October? Why start dead in the middle of football season when everybody's dialed in? Why not push it back a little bit further? Because you start the season in mid-October, why not just wait until November then? Finish it up in late June, early July, and then it transitions seamlessly into football and everybody's happy. No more back-to-backs, and hopefully a lot less load managing. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Coming up next, speaking of training camps, the NFL, well, the season is over, but we're already predicting what's going to happen next year. I'll explain coming back right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9491. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9491. That's 800-575-9491. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure. Dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Keep your business in the know with the USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
As you all know, when one season comes to a close, we relish in it for about 15 seconds, and we start looking to the next one. For some of us, some fans, we've already been looking to next season. As a Texans fan, with the introduction of Nick Caley yesterday, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it looks like moving forward. After hearing him speak, a lot of confidence instilled. Didn't know I'd have that from an actual coordinator hire, but that's where I'm at as a fan, and I imagine that's where a lot of football fans are that aren't the Eagles just relishing in a championship parade right now that still can't not think about the Dallas Cowboys.
I know how people love to hate us. They love to root against us. But something I noticed is that all of a sudden, people were coming together to cheer on our Philadelphia Eagles, not just here in Philly, but all across America. It would seem, Jeffrey, that the Philadelphia Eagles are now America's team. You hear that, Dallas? The Eagles are America's team.
Look, as a Texans fan, I hope they don't say anything about Dallas if and when we ever win a Super Bowl. Frank Mateo says he's excited for 2025 too. 59 million cap space and 12 draft picks. Well, Commanders are set up very well, and it's going to be very interesting to see what their offseason looks like as well. This morning on the Morning Huddle, they were talking about 2025 predictions already for the NFL season.
ESPN.com did a predictions thing here where they pick out who they think is going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to be the MVP next year, things like that. There's a lot of Lions. There's a lot of Eagles. There's a lot of Ravens. I guess there's a couple Bills.
There's some Bills.
I think the Ravens are the overwhelming most picked team. So we get Lions over Ravens, Bills over Rams, Chiefs over Commanders, Eagles over Bills, Bengals over Commanders, Bills over Lions, Ravens over Eagles, Bills over Lions, Ravens over Packers, Ravens over Lions, Ravens over Eagles, Packers over Bengals, and Ravens over Eagles.
It's the usual suspects for sure.
Seems like a lot of them. Next season's MVP. Who, if I told you right now to pick the Super Bowl, who would you say? Like, just to throw it out there.
If I was, I'd say Detroit, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd go with that too.
I'll probably go. I'm going to go Baltimore, San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco not on this list.
That's right.
I do like the Bengals over the Commanders bold prediction. That would be great.
You know what? There's something in the last little part of this that I'll address the Commanders in. Your pick for next season's MVP. There's one name that pops
Joe Burrow.
up. Joe Burrow is the most popular name
because you win these awards the year before.
And I mean, statistically, if this were a stat award, Joe Burrow would have won it this year. But Joe Burrow was also like 2-8 against playoff teams.
But we'll remember the valiant effort as we vote next year.
He almost won a lot of games last year. I think Joe Burrow's fantastic, but he couldn't win games. If you can't make the playoffs, you can't be the MVP.
I would love for.
I expect the Bengals to be back in the playoffs.
I'd love for the trend toward running backs to go. I'd like to see Saquon as an MVP.
That's not going to happen.
But what I'm saying is, I like the idea of this running game taking more precedence. So it won't happen, but I like the idea that it's possible.
So we get 2 Burrows, a Jaden Daniels,
which
Patrick Mahomes. That would surprise me. Burrow again, another Jaden Daniels. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jordan Love. Okay.
All right.
CJ Stroud.
Justin Herbert.
Well, there's some things that we'd like to see happen that if they do happen, Herbert could be in a much better position.
Another Daniels, another Mahomes, and another Lamar Jackson. What is one move you want to see this offseason?
And it's listed here. Devontae Adams to land with a quarterback. I don't care which quarterback. Land someplace where you can make a difference. We need that. So if it's the Chargers, and the Cowboys, that'd be cool as all get out.
Yeah.
Name that if he lands with the Cowboys, that would be cool as I want to see Devontae land someplace where he can make the difference that he wanted to make when he landed with the Raiders.
Most of these are team trades this guy. Or this, and there's about 5 or 6 of them that are this team signs T. Higgins.
Well, that's the other one. Where is T going to land? My opinion of T. Higgins isn't as high as most. I think he is a very good.
I think it's very helpful that Jamar Chase stands on the other side of the field.
I think he's a very good 2, and that's not taking anything away from his skill set. But I don't think he's a number 1 guy.
And I don't blame him for leaving and trying to get that money because you only have a certain amount of time to do it. Go get that money, and we'll probably see that. Oh, he should have stayed at number 2. He should have stayed with Joe Burrow.
I think he's the one.
There's a lot of the Browns trade Myles Garrett to the Bills.
That's the thing. Can we pray for that?
Yes, we can.
We need to pray for that. The league needs to pray for that.
The Browns trade Myles Garrett to the Lions. Wow. And what's the other one? Another Browns trade Garrett to the Lions. Higgins signs with the Bills. I don't see this happening. Higgins signed with the Patriots.
That would make more sense. But even again, why spend all this money if you're truly a football guy? You look at him and go, he's a 2. He's a really good 2. Why am I going to spend all this money and try to force him to be a 1? How often does that work?
Yeah. Name one team, coach, or player who will break out next season. We get Roma Dunze, Michael Penix. I mean, everything is kind of set up for him to work out. Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, Denver Broncos, Chicago Bears. God, when will you guys learn? When will you guys?
Everybody you just named, I don't think so.
Xavier Worthy, Drake May.
He probably is the most likely candidate to get some press, but even as good as he does, they ain't going to win more than about 5 games.
Here's a weird one. Edgerrin Cooper, who's like a linebacker for the Packers. That's okay.
That was a vote by old man Cooper.
Ricky Pearsall. Here's another weird one. Keon White, who's a defensive tackle for the Patriots.
So we're getting offered a defensive tackle and a wide receiver that got shot?
Yeah.
Another
vote for Caleb Williams. And I'm not sure that Mr. Tannenbaum understood the assignment here because he says Jaden Daniels. I think I think that he's already kind of broken out. Just a rookie getting to the NFC Championship game. I think it's safe to say he's broken out.
What do you see there? I don't know what a breakout is for these guys.
We'll get to it now, because the next category is which team will take a step back in the 2025 season. There's two that jump out to me, jump off the page to me. One is the Washington Commanders.
There's no way
they should have been that good last year. And they are, in my mind, they are going to be very, very similar to this year's Houston Texans.
How close is Daniels to Stroud? Are they that similar?
I mean, they've had the two best rookie seasons in like the last 20 years.
And it's not our mental makeup. I don't question their mental stability. I just think it's a year in the league and everybody knows what you do.
Yeah,
right.
That's all it is. But like, people adjust, the defenses adjust to you.
Can you? I mean, is Bo Nix going to suffer through the same thing?
Bo Nix is like at a spot where he could continue to improve or he could regress.
Mm-hmm.
There's no room for Jaden Daniels to get better than he was, especially in 1 year. You know what I mean? Like Jaden Daniels, if you had told me Jaden Daniels would be that good in year 3, I would have been like, oh my God, well, that's a great success.
I agree.
For him to do it in year 1, unless this guy is like going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, he's going to regress a little bit. I said it last year about CJ Stroud. I was right. It doesn't mean CJ Stroud's not going to be good long-term. It was just that
there's film.
The league's not going to let you just humiliate them over and over.
But why do I not feel like that for Nix? Because is Nix just a product of a scheme, a system that he just? So if we look at what Peyton has done, and we know that there's a system that guys can function in well, and Nix fits that system. So
yeah, we're also Nix is like 45 years old and came into the NFL late as a rookie, so he is more seasoned than most quarterbacks entering the league. Frank Mateo with a couple of big, bold predictions here. 200. He's going to put money on Jaden Daniels for MVP next year when he goes out of the state. He also says whoever gets Bo Scatabo is getting the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And with a lot of cap space and a lot of draft picks, you could trade for Garrett or Debo or both. So I wouldn't write any of those off if I were you, Frank Mateo. And he says his bold prediction is that the Saints release Derek Carr. Not bold, but who they're signing in his place, you say. That is the bold take of this. Cooper Rush to lead the Saints. And yes, Frank Mateo, Washington has to learn from the Texans, get line help. And to be fair, I don't think the Texans necessarily need line help as much as they need offensive consistency. And what I mean by that is coaching, fundamentals, the way that you develop scheme-wise. And there were listening to Kaylee and D'Amico, it sounded a lot like Bobby Slowick and the offensive line coach both were asking the offensive linemen to do things that physically they could not do. And at some point, when you hear Nick Caley in his opening press conference saying, we're not trying to force a square peg into a round hole. If we're better at duo and gap, we're going to run duo and gap. If we're better at outside zone, we'll run outside zone. Be amenable to your players and what fits their strengths. And it sounds like Bobby was trying to get the players to fit into his system more so than adapting his system to fit the players. And that's one of the things that has me very excited about this Nick Caley hire. So, Frank, I think you're okay. I don't think the Texans offensive line is awful. They've invested a lot of money and draft resources into that offensive line, and they performed decent last year. They regressed horribly this year. And part of me thinks that a lot of that has to do with scheme and the way things are run. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show, get you ready for the weekend, a long weekend as we start predicting All-Star Game possible winners in terms of trophies? Could there be a spur? We'll discuss coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Methodist Care Now Urgent Care has 18 locations throughout San Antonio, open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
Wow! Most cars and pickup trucks can have a ceramic film installed by the experts at Mother's Window Tint starting at just $199. That's an incredible price. If you shop around, you'll find that competitors charge hundreds of dollars more. Plus, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Mother's Window Tint offers up to 60 different film options to fit all price ranges. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has been known as the home of the tint and alarm special. If you're looking to enhance your vehicle security to the highest level, visit Mother's Window Tint today, where security systems start at just $3.99. Call us at 210-496-3454. That's 210-496-3454. Or visit us online at motherswindowtint.com. And remember, do it at Mothers and save!
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Looking to sculpt, tighten, or refresh? Dr. Connie Hires Plastic Surgery and Med Spa does it all. Awake lipo, tummy tucks, fat reduction, microneedling, and more.
Thinking about implants for your wife? Dr. Hires specializes in breast augmentation for women and reductions for both men and women. Get the results you want with expert care. Call 210-494-8446 or go to findyourbeautiful.com to start your transformation today. Use code word BLITZ for exclusive discounts.
I'll tell you this, if I have a regret, it's that I'm not famous enough fast enough before all of my God-given athletic ability that I have allowed me to play in one of these celebrity all-star games. Because they're bringing influencers, radio hosts, stuff like that, all kinds of people into the fray. I would love the opportunity to potentially play in an NBA all-star celebrity game. That'd be a lot of fun. But speaking of which, the All-Star weekend is upon us. It's time to really figure out what's going on. And we've got this new format where the winner of tonight's Rising Stars Challenge will be in the tournament that takes on Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq's amalgamation of all-star teams that they have. And for us Chuck has Victor Wembanyama. That's the team we care about. And if Steph Castle's Rising Stars team win, that'll have our teams in it. So I want Chuck's team to win, obviously. When it comes to the skills challenge, Risa Shea and Star versus Moody and Green versus Mitchell and Mobley. Of course, here, Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama. Go take that thing home. Bring us a championship. And then Steph Castle. That is right. You are in the dunk contest against Matas Bazias, Andre Jackson Jr., and defending champ Mac McClung. We want to see Steph, and we've seen him kind of unload. So we want to see those things. And of course, 3-point competition. You got Cam Johnson, Norman Powell, Buddy Hield, Tyler Hero, Darius Garland, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, and Damian Lillard. I'm going to go with the specialist. Cam Johnson, man, he is lighting it up from deep. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. I hope everybody has a fantastic, long President's Day weekend and a great Valentine's night. Call those that you love. Check on them. Make sure they're doing good. You never know what people are going through in life. And we'll see you again come Tuesday here on Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
94.1.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count.